Hey, welcome to Sully's Pub. It's kind of late here. We're slowing down a little bit, you know. But listen, in fact, one of my favorite sales reps just walked out of here. His name's Kyle. Great attitude. But my gosh, this guy looked beat up. Right? He looked at me, he said, "Hey, Sully, I'm exhausted. I burned through 60 cold calls today and I felt like a cheesy telemarketer." And I looked at him and I said, "All right, let me guess. You're making these cold calls, but you're using a dry, stale opener every time." And he laughed and he said, "Well, basically, you know, hey, this is John." Then a pitch he wrote 6 months ago is what he told me. And I leaned in and I said, "All right, have you ever asked AI, ChatGPT, to write you custom openers based on who you're calling?" Of course, he raised his eyebrow and said, "What do you mean, like industry stuff?" I said, "No, Kyle, like real stuff." All right? Pulled out my phone and I went to ChatGPT. I said this, press the button. I said, "Write me 5 cold openers for a construction company owner who likely gets pitched 10 times a week. Make them sound casual, non-corporate, and delivered in under 10 seconds each." Boop, bam. Here were a bunch of openers, right? And of course, the first one said like this, read it. "Hey, this is going to sound like a weird call, but it's not about roofing, solar, or, believe me, payroll. You mind if I tell you why I'm calling?" And he looked at me and he said, "That's a lot better than mine, where I say, 'Hey, how's your day going?' and they all hang up on me." I pulled that phone out again and I took it a little further. Press the button. "All right, now write me 3 openers that sound like a former athlete calling on a high-performance medical practice. Keep it bold and confident." Bloop. Let's see what those openers are. Of course, he reads it, right? He said, "All right, this one actually sounds a lot like me." I said, "That's the goal. AI's not just a script writer, it's a voice coach." Now, he sits there, I could tell he's kind of thinking it over. He said, "All right, so I can build a little library, like a different vibe for tech, for logistics, for dentists." And I nodded and I said, "Yeah, treat your call and that list just like a locker room. It's a different game plan for every player, which means different openers, perhaps for every market." Of course, he finishes his drink, already texting himself a prompt. And for you, my friend, tomorrow, ditch the generic "how's your day" opener. Start calling like a chameleon.